Alright, here we go with Eric's fourth request, which is Maestro. I think this is a musical. I'm not really sure. If it is a musical, you can understand why it's best sound. But you think it'd be more like best soundtrack. I don't know. I guess we'll see. To me, it's wild. Each movie I've watched has been a higher score than the last. Not intentional. And I don't necessarily like it. I don't like trends. I like things to be unexpected, you know. But I just grade them as I see them, man. It'd be really interesting to go back in time and watch these in a different order and see if I come up with the same scores. I don't know, but this is where we're at right now. We've got the Oppenheimer is the one to beat so far. 8 mixing, 10 design, and 10 editing. It's gonna be hard to beat. The mixing is just gonna have to be perfect. So I mean, could be, but we'll see at the end. Until then, we got the movie to actually watch. So let's go and do that. This one is the full reaction of the bunch, and it's over on Netflix in the United States. I don't know about any other countries. Your mileage may vary. We're going on one. Three, two, one. It's been a while since I've seen anything on Netflix, so I'm not even sure I have the captions on. Let me check it out. I believe I do. That is a brilliant. What do they call that company card? I think. I like that. I know the fifth one. I've screen recorded it. Zone of Interest is a foreign film. I'm wondering if this one is. Yeah, I think that's probably true. People can hide behind that though, like that coward who did the first Planet of the Apes remake. In the audio commentary, he refused to answer the question. Coward. I mean, quiet because I was trying to see if I could figure out what they're trying to tell us here. If it is a musical, I probably will be quiet during the songs, just so I can take it in. Right? Have another cigarette. Grease a motherfucker. Grief is a motherfucker. I'll tell you that much, man. This looks like a. I'm getting the vibe this is not set in present day. I don't know why. It's hard to get. I couldn't really see the camera. That would tell us for sure, right? There's something about the suit the guy was wearing. Well, the tie and shirt. Nope. Got shit to do. Two for two on smoking, I guess. Such an interesting frame. Got just a little bit of light coming in, you know. This takes balls, man. It's the second scene in the movie. You're doing a frame like this. That takes balls. Not sure we're seeing the captions here. Let me lower it down a little bit. It's always a crapshoot because I don't think we entirely see the top of the frame that I see. So I'll think the captions are there and they won't be sometimes. I'll look at the finished video and then like the top of the caption be cut off or something. This is an interesting shot here, man. Damn, it's really too bad that we're in a full reaction. I would love to look at this again. I mean, there's obviously cuts here, right? But I always like to see if I can catch them. That was phenomenal. First scene was interesting. The second scene was bold. The third scene was phenomenal. They're really swinging their dick around. I take it he's the guy we saw at the beginning. That's right. Take in my genius. It's too bad I'm not grading the direction of this movie because so far it's getting high mark. Just everything that I've seen so far, like how they were focusing on his face instead of when he's doing the gestures that we just care about his face. The direction is phenomenal. I need to remember that I'm doing the sound. That's what I'm analyzing here, right? Let me finish, asshole. I'll be honest, I don't really understand what the hell a conductor does. I've actually talked to one before and they've tried to explain it to me. Like, because you have the sheet music. You don't need to, like, but I think each player has their own music. Well, I don't want to miss this dialogue. We'll get back to that. Are you in the shit jack in there? Jesus, man. He is on the shit jack. Why? Lyndon Johnson asks. But it's like, the way it's been explained to me, each one has their own sheet music. Like the flute, you have your sheet music, but you don't know when to come in and when to stop, right? And that's what the conductor does. I just think that there's a better way to do. I don't know why you need a person for that, right? Like I don't know, man. Like it's so far outside my wheelhouse. It's just incomprehensible to me. But they're like they're celebrity. They have celebrity status, right? Like I don't get that. You're not playing. You're not the one performing. Like, why are you the celebrity? You know what I mean? Like, it's just the whole thing. I don't get. Maybe this will help eliminate that. I mean, the musical score in this is probably going to be phenomenal. So far, I'm very impressed. Not really hearing any sound effects of any type. I mean, other than the obvious, like when he leans forward, you hear the chair, but like that's so basic, right? Or and certainly no sound design. Like it doesn't. I don't think they're. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're gonna be inventing any sounds for this like they are for a sci-fi movie. Son, what's interesting is that the movie is about sound, right? Every scene has something to do with sound. Like for instance, he's talking in a microphone, right? They say an average episode of 24 is 42 minutes long. It has 40 minutes of sound of song music. 42 minutes. They have 40 minutes of music. That's very rare. Usually, a typical TV show will have like 27, 28 minutes of music, right? They have wall to wall music on 24. This movie so far has been wall to wall. I don't think there's been a single moment yet where they haven't had some kind of music of some sort, right? Either in universe or out of universe. This is out of universe music right now, but yeah. See, each musical piece just goes straight into the next, right? Now this is in universe music, and I'm really interested in that. I I instantly hate her. Way too over the top. But that's the point, right? Of this kind of song. So my point in saying all that is that like that makes the editing harder, the sound editing harder, because you're always getting music, and you have to incorporate the sounds and the dialogue in there like every second of the film. Now I hear there's no music finally, right? But because it's dialogue heavy. Yeah, I have four more names. I'll get to them. This is Bradley Cooper, right? Playing Bernstein. I think it is. He's classically trained, and the thing I know because I have some actors who went to college for acting, right? If you go to college for acting, you have to sing. You have to take 2 semesters of singing training. Whether you give a shit about singing or not, they force you to do it. You have to do it, right? Because it's just such a part of your. That's a famous quote. Somebody. That's why I stopped because I was like, that feels familiar to me. Some composer, somebody in the music industry said that quote before. I wish I knew. Is this a biopic? Is this a real person? It's entirely possible. I doubt it. Yep, you can't have your food touching each other on the plate. Oh shit, that was a jump scare, man. Don't be doing that shit to me. I'm not ready for that. But they feel like that's a vital component to acting. Even if you're never going to sing in your career, you need to have a year's experience of it. And one of my actors just absolutely hated that. She actually dropped out of college because she couldn't handle the singing. But he's classically trained, so of course he has some musical talent, some instrumental talent, right? Because he had to have at least done 1 year of it. And I think he probably has way more than that, actually. Although I've never seen him do any singing and dancing before. Tell you something else they're doing. They're not doing. How do we put this? I guess what I want to say is organic sound. They're not really doing any organic sound. They're outside. You're not hearing bugs or the wind or dogs or anything. Here, you're not hearing anything but their dialogue. Right? There's no other sound in the environment. It's very sterile, and that's intentional, of course. They want to keep our focus on the dialogue and the music and stuff, right? Worst gift ever. Yeah, come on now, focus. And cut. Wish I loved anything as much as directors love to have a light between two characters in a moment like this. Oh shit. We were just running lines. Yeah, right. You're a slob. Yeah, and no fucking on the stage. I don't have a mop. Maurice. No, wait, that's wrong. Hey, I got the first letter right. That's not bad. Considering I completely pulled that out of my ass. You would eventually have gotten it. That's exactly what I was saying. It was gonna happen. If you're really good, your talent shines through. Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games, like you wouldn't believe the set of circumstances and coincidences that got her that role. She would have found another role. She's that good. Just one example, right? Man, their transitions are fire, man. This needs to win Best Direction. I feel like what they're doing here, this movie is an homage, or it's basically a spiritual successor to the 40s and 50s musicals before the classical 60s musicals, right? The classical 60s, big show stopping numbers and a bunch of choreography. But in the 40s and 50s, there were this kind of musical. And the dialogue is getting me there. Now, this may be set in the 50s. I'm not sure exactly the time period. It's obviously way back in the past, right? I think it's probably 50s. So this feels like that. This feels like that's what they're doing, an old fashioned style of film. The dialogue is specifically, right? I really like that. I like the throwback aspect of it. Ava Gabor, when was that? This might even be 30s. Is it possible this would be 30s? I think he's probably supposed to be Clark Gable. I'm really bad on my movie history. It's all kind of mashed together, right? You know, that whole 30-year time period is all kind of crunched together, right? Well, the point is though that like this needs to win Best Director because this I am super impressed with the direction so far. The the rest of it, because it's a throwback movie, I'm not feeling it as much. Like the story, the dialogue. I know what they're doing and I appreciate what they're doing, but it's just not my vibe. But the direction is just phenomenal, man. Another thing I really hate is flirting style. It probably worked in the 30s and 40s. This shit would never fly today. Like you are a terrible flirter. It's probably rare for a character like him. Always in motion, the whole thing with being a conductor, you're always like doing this shit, right? Imagine sitting still. This really does feel like we picked up a DVD from the 30s or 40s and put a movie in, right? One way we'll know that for sure that's what they're doing is like if they depict they're having sex with just a kiss and they cut to the next scene. That's when we know what they're doing. What's interesting about this is I assumed he was gay. You know, in the first couple of scenes, it looked like that's what they were doing. He was in bed with another man. Maybe he's bisexual. That's probably what he is, actually, now that I think about it. They do have chemistry. I will give them that. Yeah, you better stay out, bitch. I told him to eat my ass. He means what happened. Okay, flip it around. there's a there's a nasty undertone to this dude. Again, why are conductors so important, man? I don't understand the life. I know they are. I just don't understand. He brings the flute in just a little bit sooner than the other conductor would do. He's the best. Like what? What is that? I mean, it should be the the musical piece should be the same every time. Like, so what are you doing that's like so special as opposed to other people, right? You know? I see. This happened a lot back then, man. You had to fight that racism. Right. This is really feeling like a biopic. We're not talking about right this second, are we? Fuck it. This is another thing that makes me feel like a throwback, right? It's not 100% rooted in reality. Like, they didn't just jump up and leave. Nobody reacted, right? It's metaphor. Also, I will admit, since I don't know much about it, I didn't know conductors also compose music. I thought it was a very niche thing. That's all they do. But it makes total sense, right? Where he's like a Renaissance man where he does a lot, right? He does a lot of different things. Yeah, we can tell that, right? Renaissance man. He's like Leonardo da Vinci. That some bitch would never just stick with one thing, man. Also, if I'm right and he is bisexual, like that's another part of his. He wants everything, right? He wants it all in all things, in all phases of life. This guy's good. Oh, it's him. Of course. That's why he's so damn good. He switched places. I didn't even notice at first. Shake that thing. See, this is how you flirt, not that lame ass dialogue he was doing before. Bravo. Now sit your ass down. Oh shit. You better fight your way through this crowd. There's so much subtext in this movie, man. And I think what they're doing there, if I'm right, is this is pure genius. In that, because music can be interpreted so many different ways, they want the movie to be interpreted so many different ways, right? Like you could just, matter of fact, how you interpret the movie, how you interpret music could be depending on what your mood is when you're listening to it, right? Like one day you think it's some one thing, and I'm talking about instrumental music, not with lyrics, right? And another day you'll interpret it some completely different way. And I think they want, if I'm right, that that's what they're doing with the actual movie itself. Phenomenal. This son of a bitch directed it this well and is performed in almost every scene. Like, no way, man. Like, that is nuts. The degree of difficulty of just being a director for a movie like this when it's this well directed is already sky high. But then you're in every scene, you're directing yourself. You got to go over and watch the take before you do the next take. Unbelievable. Like, I've never really had much of an opinion of Bradley Cooper either way. He's like, okay, he's there. I know he's on Inside the Actors Studio. He's one of the only people to ever ask a question as a student and come back 10 years later and actually be a guest because he had a good enough career to be worthy of being a guest. The only person to ever do that. So that was the only reason he's really on my radar. But now, man, like, dude, I am so impressed. I mean, the movie could still shit the bed, but I'm just saying, at this point, I'm extremely impressed. Well, you know, considering how much you're fucking smoking, you probably did, yes. God damn. Okay, I guess if he was an asshole, I guess it makes sense. So we envious shit? Fuck him. Agreed. I mean, I probably would have changed my name in the time period. I don't blame anybody who did, but like I do respect the person who's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna use my name. The one that confuses me is Dove Cameron. Her original name is gorgeous. It's Celeste something. Like it's a really pretty name. Dove Cameron's pretty too, but it's like you already had a pretty name. Why'd you switch to a different one? It's very weird. We rarely do. The further we get into this, the more I'm wondering about that framing device. Why do they want us to know that he's lost her in the future? throughout the whole progression, right? Now that I know her name, I keep thinking of Bye Felicia, the meme. Hey man, always down for a drink. Sad boy is sad. He's picking up on your energy, dude. Say something. Explain it. Yeah, I ate some raw fish last night. I got really bad diarrhea. Don't trip. You gotta explain the shit, man. Yeah, you would think your privilege is showing. Livingston. Yeah. Yes, here. Hey, you started the conversation here. This is where it's happening. The reason I keep wondering if this is a biopic is that Leonard Bernstein feels familiar to me. But it could just be, Bernstein's a pretty common last name. Leonard is a first name that has been, heard before, so I don't know. So far, the only thing I would strike against this movie, he didn't look 25. I thought he was in his 30s. The actor's probably in his 40s. They didn't do anything to make him look like he was 25 when he first got that first conducting thing. They were so close on his face. That was one of the problems with that. So I don't know, man. That's the only thing I would like. If we could say anything bad about the movie, it'd be that. There's probably you maybe digitally de-age him or something you could have done. Well, they're really making this news footage look shitty, aren't they? That's not easy to do. You're too fucking busy. These other people are definitely real. Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely seeing the forces trying to tear them apart. I'm seeing that for sure. Yeah, it's like the difference between being a writer and a director. Two very different things, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not what schizophrenic means, you dumbass. But really, like, it's very similar to that, because I'm a producer, writer, and director, right? So three very different things. I always look at it as hats. Also editing, right? So for instance, when I have my writing hat on, I have one mindset. When I'm a producing hat on, can we afford this? I have a different mindset. When I'm editing, I have my editing hat on, it's a different mindset. It's not really different personalities, it's just mindsets. Way of looking at things, right? To characterize it as personalities is a little weird. Because you're the same person, it's just you have a different mindset. Kind of like if you're driving a car, you're thinking about different things than if you're riding in the back of the bus. Doesn't make it different personalities. Yeah, also, well, that was a great transition. It's how that actually happened, sir. Well, if we're trying to beat the rain, staying here talking ain't going to help that happen, is it? Stop talking to my kid. I bet he has, too, man. He's acting like he's joking. He was hitting that. Both of that. Look at him. Yeah, that joke was not appropriate, dude. Cut the tension with the knife. As somebody who takes chances with his jokes, I know the feeling very well. Let him. It might be. Again, when I was talking about the interpretation, like you just hear a musical piece, instrumental piece. You can take it so many different ways. That scene is a perfect example of it. You can take that scene 17 different ways if you want to. You write a thesis on just that one scene in conjunction with the scene previous, right? This is a brilliant movie, I have to say. Hey, finally got some organic sound here, which I'm sure they put in after the fact, right? They were probably looking at the frame and said, "Well, you see how the wind's blowing the trees? Let's put some of that sound in there." This is speaking of what I've been thinking about. There's an artifice here. Like these people don't feel like real people, and I think that's the point. He has such a strong facade, public face, kind of what they were talking about in the previous scene, right? And same with her. Her accent feels contrived. It's like kind of like Madonna's British accent now is contrived, right? Like, what does she do? She didn't used to talk that way. That's not her, right? That's cute. I like that. So these don't feel like real people. I'm not emotionally engaged in this, right? Also because it's so much of it's metaphor. It's really hard to get emotionally engaged. So that's why I'm being so analytical with this movie. But I think that's the point. The point is he's such a public person. There's so many eyes on him at all times that everything's a put on, right? I'm trying to think of a name of a morning talk show host. I haven't watched it in 20 years, so I have no idea. But like whatever the current host of Good Morning America is, if that show even exists anymore, if you were to run into them in a grocery store and say, "Hey, I love you on Good Morning America," you would get a facade. It wouldn't be actually them, right? There would be that facade between you and them. You could have a very pleasant 3 minute conversation, but there'd be nothing real there, right? That's him, and that's also her. Even in these moments with the baby, right? It's in public. The only time I think they're real, and you'll notice like he speaks differently, is when they're in bed together and there's nobody else around, nobody's looking. He speaks differently there, right? And it's just there's a little bit of reality there, but even that he's still faking for her, and she's faking for him. They told us at the very beginning of the movie what they were going to do with this movie. You're going to have to interpret this shit yourself. You're not going to get any fucking answers. You'll decide for yourself what they're visually giving us, what's real, what isn't, what really happened, what didn't happen. Maybe the framing device is real. You could look at it that way. Everything else is interpretation. It's in black and white for a reason, right? So 100 people could watch this and come away with 100 different things, and they're all equally valid. Personally, as a content consumer, I don't like playing that game. So, for instance, I wanted the end to Inception to be definitive, but I do respect the artistic choice not to make it definitive, and I have a lot of respect for what they're doing in this movie. But I'm not going to play the game of what's real, what isn't. You know, like here, for instance, it should be consumed by the fact she has no career because it's all about him. She's got kids. She's making a home every now and then. She does a little bit of acting. Are we to assume when it's in color, like now, is this real? You know, you can assume whatever you want. I guess because we're further in time, they're going with when did color come to movies? Now we're going to be in color. Is that what they're doing? I assume maybe like we'll see if they go back to black and white. Then what they're doing is like everything in black and white's open interpretation, or are they just following time periods when the movies become color? Then they're going to show us color, right? I think it's the second. Yeah, he's definitely like way older, right? So that's what they're doing. Okay, that's a hell of a transition. How far into this are we? Oh shit, but we're not even halfway through the movie, and so they're really clicking through the time periods. Interesting. So they've been together. What is she? She's got to be like 18, 20. Terrible with ages. So they've been together for quite a while now. This is looking like late 60s, early 70s, maybe. Yeah, yeah, we heard you the first time, asshole. It's always awkward. You're at a party. You got to tell the person I'm fucking off, but you got to wait for them to talk to 17 other people before you can actually get a word in and tell them you're fucking off. You know, it's like I'm fucking tired. I'm trying to leave, man. Yeah, you haven't acted in 20 years. You're bitter. Yeah, taking it like a champ. Yeah. Okay. The hell was that? Yeah, yeah, that joke was old even back here. Dude, god damn, he is lame. Again, the point, but Jesus Christ, dude. Wow, he is terrible at this. Jesus Christ, dude. Can we go to starring? Holy shit. I guess if you're drunk in the middle of a party, it's fine, but like, holy shit. Damn, man. Wear a bra. Or is that just a dress? Like, it's hard to tell. Definitely bisexual. I'm starting to get that feeling. Oh, shit. She's out of here, man. Get off me. But see, I didn't even pick up on the flirting vibe. I didn't. I thought he was just trying to be like funny. But that just goes back to what I was talking about before. He's a terrible flirt. Like absolutely awful, man. So that is very thematically consistent. Clearly what they're trying to do on purpose, right? That he is just the world's worst flirt. And the only reason he gets any action is he's famous and rich, right? I've met people like that, especially when I was in Hollywood, right? Like at the American Film Market. Very powerful people, rich, worst jokes you've ever heard in your life, and everybody laughs. They've never had to acquire any skill. They don't need to. People are just gonna laugh, right? Another brilliant thing he's doing is his nasal voice. That's not how he sounds in real life. He's forcing the dialogue through his nose. Wonder if this is a book that the movie's based on. Yeah, we always feel that way. Dude, don't be a nihilist. Because you have perfect artistic freedom and she doesn't, man. Dude, I thought you were smart. How about you take a year off and let her go out, and do her shit, right? Like, that would never happen, though. Gee, go figure. Dumbass. I'm starting to get emotionally engaged because he's starting to piss me off. Hey, if you can't love him, hate him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we've noticed. Has there been a single scene in this entire movie where he's been completely by himself? Yeah, I guess they established that very early on, didn't they? Ah, I love being alone. Like, you have no idea. I'd rather be alone than anything else. Put me on a mountaintop in a cabin, never see another human being the rest of my life, man, that'd be perfect. But I enjoy talking to people. It's just, you know what I'm saying. I just don't need him in the same place. He's the person who needs him in the same place, like at all times. Good show. Again, see what I mean? Like, that's not funny, you know what I mean? But they'll laugh because he has the power. I would hate that, man. I would hate to be so rich and famous people laugh because you're rich and famous and not because you actually did anything. That would be the worst. That's why it'd be fuck fame forever, right? Because you would never have a real relationship with anybody. Like, again, what is he conducting here, man? If you go like this, does that mean these people sing louder and the rest of them don't? Is that what? But wouldn't that be in the music sheet? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wrap my mind around. It. I've literally had conductors explain this shit to me. I can't retain it, man. Like, it'd be like somebody trying to explain quantum physics to you, right? In the moment, you're like, okay, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. 2 hours later, it's like, what the fuck did he say? It's definitely what it feels like. And then this, like, okay, so we stopped. Wouldn't the music sheet say that? Wouldn't it say like, okay, pause 3 seconds? That's what I'm not wrapping my mind around. What are you providing that couldn't be on the page? Is it jazz? It's just like, okay, this time I'm feeling like we should stop earlier. Maybe it's jazz. Maybe that's what it is. Each experience is unique. Maybe that's what it is. This is when he's truly happy. 100 people screaming in his face at once. You sad, lonely bastard. Dude, she was talking, you asshole. Thank you for jumping in. I didn't have this. What is interesting about this, okay, to get off the hate train of him for a minute, she has just as much affectation as he does. I think that's why they're drawn together in the first place. Oh, this son bitch again. That's that same dude, right? She's sus as hell. It's got to be the same guy from the way she reacted. Okay, I'm thinking it's still 60s. Yeah, given by the car, right? What a piece of shit. I'm assuming it's an open-ish relationship, right? But I could be wrong here. How many kids do they have? Is it two or three? I was thinking two, but that other one that we saw at the party when they first changed the color looked like she was 18, and these two look younger. So I guess it's three. Stop touching shit. Get your grubby ass fingers all over my damn wallpaper. Yeah. Yeah. Where is she? And you haven't even noticed her. Yeah, so pay attention. Oh, shit. About you. About your rancid ass. You better go talk to her. Oh, shit. You better go talk to her. Stop undressing. It is, okay, it is open. Okay, gotcha. It is an open relationship. This is what I mean, by the way, when they talk in private, right? I've noticed it several times where he'll say something, backtrack, and rephrase it, but it's in private. Where he has much more artifice when he's talking in public with a bunch of other people around. You better not tell her you're a vapid whore. Yeah, thanks for fixing me up. Yeah, let's get to the point. Which ones did you hear specifically? I'm a whore. What did happen? I was smashing. This ain't gonna fly, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They had pictures. They described acts that even God would be ashamed of. Well, God's pretty buttoned up. He'd be ashamed of a lot. Hey, man, kind of on theme. There's something to this, but like we know what's really going on. People jealous will say some shit that isn't true. That's true. I'm a bad motherfucker. Haters. In social media in 20 years, we'll call it haters. 30 years. My haters can't keep me down. You lying bitch. How would you know? You don't know what the rumors are. I've categorically never done anything anybody would ever say a rumor about. Like, does that make any sense? Yeah, so look at the look at her. She knows you're full of shit. So, honey, are you buying it? I don't know. Look how long they're holding on this. Holy shit. You had it till you had that 20-minute pause. Dumbass. Yeah. I was gonna believe you until like you literally just mad dog for 2 straight minutes. My God, this is a brilliantly directed movie. Like, holy shit, I did not know he had this in him, man. I knew he was a fair to middling actor. Like, this is clearly way better than that, but like directing, like fucking hell. They also teach directing. What is the School of the Arts? The one that Inside the Actor Studio is based out of. That's where he studied in college, right? They have a director's track, they have a writing track, and they have an acting track. He must have done all three, or at least dabbled in all three, right? Because holy shit, this is impressive. Yeah, I've noticed that about our daughter. Thank you very much. I once complimented a woman on her child actor. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was phrased. Yeah, yeah, you've been doing that a lot actually. But anyway, I said your kid is brilliant. I can't remember whether it was a boy or girl now that I think about it, but like I said, your kid is brilliant, right? I just remember what the mom says. She says, "Yeah, I've noticed." I was like, I actually apologized. I was like, sorry, this must have sounded really dumb. Yeah. Again, every directorial choice is fucking perfect. How far the camera back was back for that entire scene. We can't see the characters. It's to create the atmosphere of the distance between the two characters. The only way you could do that closer is if they were physically further apart. Or another way you can do that, by the way, is you have two characters sitting side by side, but you do one shots. You never do a two shot. There, as they talk, right? Go back and forth. Never do a two shot. You're showing the physical distance. You are separating them where they don't share a frame together. That's another way you can do it, right? But that's been done so much. It's almost like you're a hack if you do it these days because it's just been done so much. This is an interesting way that he did it. Another thing I would probably try to do is like maybe put some physical obstruction between one of the characters and between. In other words, two characters sitting there. You have a tree between one of the characters and you can see the other character. And then maybe you change the camera angle. Well, now the tree has been in front of the other one. I don't know if that would actually work. You'd have to see it in the frame, right? But like something like that. The way they chose to do it was we're just so fucking we're so far back, right? So I'm just really loving the direction of this. Another time jump because the picture is much more clear now. Color is more bright, realistic. I guess the colors were brighter in the past, but more realistic, I should say. Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, she's out of here. Where the hell are you running to? Oh, I I guess that could be celebration. I thought she was running away like F you. Oh, no, she was. Okay, it wasn't F you. Got you. Let's all go play in the pool. That's right. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. He's the only one without a program in his hands, of course, because he is the program. Everything has intent. She's just looking at everything, noticing it all. Stop paying attention, man. Or get out of the relationship. I just like that's why I have no sympathy for her. She's enjoying the lifestyle, and maybe she can convince herself she's staying for the kids. But either you want to be happy or you don't. Clearly, she don't want to be happy. So yeah. So at that point, if you're gonna stay for whatever your reasons for staying are, stop paying attention. You know, look the other way. Look down at your program. Yeah, get off me. I'm out of here. I'm enjoying the pettiness. So that's the thing. You'd rather stay and be passive aggressive, right? My thing is, I always my plan strategy, I guess we'd say, is to ignore passive aggressiveness because the whole point of it is they don't want to be overt, and the only way they get what they want is if you respond to their passive aggressiveness, which means you're the first person to be overt. Whoever the only way to win is not to play, right? So I just ignore it until they come to me with an actual overt declaration or action. Just ignore, like I said, look the other way, pretend it didn't happen. Because don't play that game. That's right, bitch. Here's all your shit for you and your fuck boy. So good, man. Hey, that is Snoopy. I think I had that Snoopy. What time period is this? Snoopy is my favorite character growing up. I had a Snoopy doll. I don't think the ears are black. This probably isn't the early '80s. Yes, not me, but close. Almost isn't missing it though. Look, I'm not his defender, believe me. But if you didn't miss it, you did miss it. I mean, it's not horseshoes and hand grenades. You either miss it or you don't miss it. You can be mad because you almost missed something. I'm just impressed he didn't actually miss it. Huh. We're into the caveman grunt stage of the relationship. Yeah, see, this is overt. Yeah, you're goddamn right. Eat my ass. Oh, I want to hear this saying. Give it to me. Well, this romance movie has taken a turn, hasn't it? It is comedic. That's why I said I don't have any sympathy because you're just standing there under that bird full of shit. Yeah. No, you will not finish. Yes, that's true. Yeah, he likes things that are about him. Oh yeah, yeah. You're so burdened. I feel like why are the captions so far up, man? I mean, I assume you're watching it with me, so maybe it doesn't matter. But just so we can keep track here, right? Yeah, as a conductor should. These are her complaints. Like, I'm not even sure I understand what her problem is. She doesn't like the way he conducts. But you were happy when he proposed. What are you talking about? Damn, dude. Now that's a show-stopping number right there. The argument started in a weird place, but I'm into it now. Yeah, you can't love somebody who doesn't love themselves. That is true. Well, we know that happens because they spoiled us with the framing device. We hear you arguing up there. This must be the May was it May parade whatever. Yeah, look at that big ass Snoopy. I had seen the floats from the previous ones that go past the window, so I forget what it's called. It's the Thanksgiving Day parade, but there's another word for it. Is it some store? I think Macy. That's what it is. A Macy's parade. That's right. We're not cutting until Snoopy goes past. Exactly. As soon as Snoopy's ass is past the window, we're going to cut. That's exactly where I would have cut it to. But yeah, that's why you don't play the passive aggressive game because passive aggressive people are cowards. They don't want to actually be confrontational. They want you to start it, so it's your fault, right? Just don't play that game. As it does. This is him with complete freedom. It is interesting. This is called facade, considering that's what him and his wife been doing the entire time. Yeah, that's right. Give me high. Yeah, get that sound mix right. Yeah. Hey, quit snitch on me. What do you think? Mid 50s? I'm so bad at the ages. Of course, you they aged her up, but like she could be in her 60s. I recently found out Jodie Foster is 62, and it blew me away. I thought she was in her 50s. Meow. Yeah, I'm drunk. Yeah, that's right. Do another line, you dumbass. That's right. I'll do a line on the top of your head. How's that? Anybody got an ass I can do a line off of? Here's the thing, man. I've said this before. If I thought I don't know much about cocaine, but if I thought it would just I could work for 48 straight hours, not needing any sleep, be focused the entire time, I'd totally do cocaine. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you know what planet you're on when you're on. So the work would be crap, right? Not with you. Yeah, I ain't nudging mommy. Yeah, fuck him. Remember that shit you lied to me about 10 years ago? Now that the truth has come out. So you ain't coming, huh? Yeah, I'm hanging up now. One of the few truthful things he said this whole movie. Anyway, I'm a bounce. I like how these phones do light up when you these old ones, right? I like how this lighting his face the way it is. Just more brilliant direction. Yeah, hell no. She went on a date. Yeah, real. We smashed. Now, do you want to hear about it? Start being graphic. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, yeah, I'm not. no chance in hell. I can't tell if she's homophobic or if it's his lies. It's probably a combination of both. I mean, his lies would be enough. Like, he lied straight to your face, man. Talking about rumors and jealousy and shit. That's right. I see how cross you are. I don't want you to go like that. She really is. You're not as good a liar as your father is. She seems vaguely familiar. She's a good actress. Wow. Yeah, we were smashing. Yeah, you just said that. Oh shit. Yep, there I was. Your gaydar's way off, apparently. Well, clearly, like, well, maybe it's not clear. I don't know. Clearly, Lenny is bisexual. I could be wrong about that. Maybe she was always just his beard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's just bisexual. How dare he? I said bye, Felicia. You should have gotten out 20 years before you did. She sees that. Right, exactly. But again, the artifice, she's just as fake as he is. Look at this. Does this feel real? Is she being honest here? This is facade, man. Like her play title, right? Fake ass. Yeah, you, both of you. That's what's so brilliant about this movie. Yeah. Well, if you're going to keep lying, no. So what's with the person facing him? Maybe it's just a camera angle. I couldn't tell if she was like actually in front of him or she was behind him. See, to his right there. She's behind him. His hand just went in front of her. Okay. I guess they're just singers. Okay, I got you. He was hiding the other one with his body. He is working that shit. I don't understand it, but whatever it is, he's working it. Look at him. That is a workout, man. You don't ever have to hit the gym if you're living this life. He's probably gonna fall out. He's not looking so good. He's probably gonna fall out. Watch it. What part of your being a conductor is this? Is that just encouragement? Half of what I know about being a conductor I learned from that Bugs Bunny cartoon where he's torturing that guy, you know? Look at it. You're gonna fall out. Is there a doctor in the house? Yeah, he's breaking it down. He's dropping some science. You are all under my command. This is the life. Killing it, man. You're goddamn right. I'm about to rip my shirt off and do a dance. Not me. We don't want to see that. I'm talking about him. Break this shit down. He's throwing gang signs. Hell yeah. 4 hours of this shit. Every night. 2 shows on Saturday. Still got the wedding ring. What's that about? Is that more facade or is it like did he remarry? Knowing how meticulous Bradley Cooper is, these are probably all appropriate gestures, right? He probably mirrored a real conductor and then added some flourish, of course, but because he's definitely adding some English to it. But it's not like me and you could go up there just fucking around, right? Like, I think these are probably actually appropriate gestures. That's right. Go nuts, violins. Get into it. That old man back there is leaning into that violin. Hit it. Hit it again. All right, now we're gonna run this shit back. Come on now. I got one more in me. You goddamn right. Motherfucker got 6 towels underneath him. How much he's sweating? Don't get soft now. We're supposed to have a crescendo at some point. Yeah. All right. For our next musical piece, we're doing "Baby Got Back." Here's the thing: the women are behind him; they can't see what he's doing. So how did they get cued? Right? Does he tap them, or they just come in at a certain point when they hear the certain point of the music? That was look at her; she's missing like a motherfucker. That was incredible. That's right. You better clap. It's like, God damn! I thought he'd never stop. That's the only question. I have a lot of questions about conducting, but those women literally had their back to him. So how are you cueing them? That's what I want to know. Damn, dude, get the fuck off her. Maybe we're back together. Maybe that's why he has his ring on. She still got her ring on too. Did they never officially break up or divorce? Yeah, who knows? They have a complicated relationship. Give her some tongue. Start finger banging her. I mean, he's going nuts. I'm just saying. Look at his sweat all over her. Damn, you done ruined my dress, bitch. Look, I'm happy for you, but goddamn. You know, you see that fucking big ass sweat ring? Damn. That's right. Pay homage. It's like the end of the second Harry Potter movie, man. We're going nuts. We're about to tear this place down. I think that's that same thing that facade thing she is. Looks like the same color that she was singing from, right? Yeah, maybe it's just a stupid waiting room magazine. Well, you got lung cancer. You've been smoking 17 packs a day. No, she eventually dies. This must be when it starts to happen. I see. Because we know, again, from the spoiling ass framing device, thank you again, anime credit ass. Nice doctor's room socks. Here's your problem. You're married to an asshole. It was necessary to grab my arm to tell me this. Jesus Christ. And this is 70s medical technology, maybe 80s. Yeah, you're not starting shit in September. Do we still do leeches in the 80s? I'm not up on the medical technology. Are you looking for guarantees? Again, the stammering, right? Like, that's the only time he's a real person. And here she's finally being a real person. Yeah, we got 30 minutes left. It's about time for her to kick the bucket. Which is a shame because as brilliant as Anderson Cooper is and his character is, I think she's probably my favorite character. They're both fake and full of shit, right? But like, I don't know. They definitely have chemistry and they both have charisma. Fuck that. I'm sick, bitch. Are you out of your fucking mind? That chauffeur, like, goddamn, man, I waited out here for 2 hours and they ain't even gonna take the car. Yeah, that's right, bitch. Mind your own fucking business. I like that they're redoing this. So he is a real person then. Age of Anxiety by Leonard Bernstein playing is what the caption said. So this is a biopic. Okay, I wasn't sure, man. It works either way. In fact, I think as a biography, this is probably a terrible movie. But maybe it's the epitome of who he was as a person. So maybe it's not a terrible biopic. As a regular person's biopic, it'd be terrible. But as a fictional story, it's perfect. Again, everything's metaphor in this movie. Yeah, he almost got to smash this. That's that Mindy she was talking about, right? No, I think the person was in love with Mindy or interested in Mindy. That's what it was. This this is what Dad didn't want. I wasn't allowed to let anybody, any of his old shipmates or anybody, see him once he was in his sick bed. He didn't want this. That piece of shit. Yeah, or something. This actress is incredible. She's really portrayed this. This might as well be my mom with cancer. It's about the same time period too, right? She's really captured that very well. You have the life and the personality still there, but the lack of energy perfectly captured. This is exactly what it's like. And then again, look at her face. How she's having trouble concentrating on what you're saying. You got to keep it short with people like this. Short sentences. Don't be telling no long ass fucking 6 paragraph stories. They can't keep their focus in. They're tired, man. They have no energy. And she perfectly captured that in her face too, man. Yeah, keep it short, bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I'm interested as you drone on and on. Stop looking at the camera. No, it really was him she was looking at. Yeah, thanks for taking over everything as you usually do, you dick. Dumbass. You could literally write a thesis on this movie. Like, there's so many things. I'm only saying a fraction of what I'm thinking. For instance, there's now more personality. There's more humanity in these characters than there was in the past. And you could look at this could be a history of filmmaking. The films in the '60s were soulless, right? And you start to have more humanity and more relatable characters as we move forward in film history, right? Like now in this time period, they just have more humanity than they did. Like the kids, the way they were playing just now. Yeah. If they don't, kiss my ass. Not gonna happen. My wife is dying, you asshole. But anyway, you could do a whole thesis just on what I just said there, right? Like just that, right? This movie is like 17 layers. I've never needed a screen pillow. It wouldn't hurt to have a speed bag though for like boxing. Just get some of this shit out. My parents divorced probably 15 years before mom got cancer, something like that. They always had a close relationship. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty convinced between her, really, because he never dated again after. Well, he dated, but he never had anything serious after they broke up. She got married twice and had three long term relationships. In between those relationships, I'm pretty convinced they were hooking up. They maintained a closeness. Like they loved each other desperately, dearly, for life. They just couldn't live together. They were oil and water. They couldn't live together, right? Get off my ass. Don't make me kick your healthy ass. She's like a cat. You can't help her, man. The cat that's wet and you're trying to dry it off, it just wants to rip your head. You rip your arm off, man. But so in between, whenever she was not in a relationship, I'm pretty convinced they would hook up. But either way, they were close, right? Super close for life. They just couldn't live together. So she had those three long term relationships, and she was with some other guy when she actually got cancer, but it wasn't serious. I wasn't living with her by then, so I'm not sure. But when she got cancer, he was the one she turned to, and he was there for her. He took time off work. He was there for her as much as she needed. She beat it. It went into remission. 5 years later, she got it again, and it was really bad, and it killed her, right? Both times, he was there for her. This is hitting me with that, right? This feels very similar. Because, yeah, you can't live with each other. Oh, shit. Are you serious? Yeah, dude, she's in trouble, man. She needs a full time. Yeah, she needs a full time supervisor, man. Just make sure she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. But like, I love the idea. Like, there's that enduring lifetime love. Is that Alexa Swinton? Holy shit! I didn't know she was in this movie. Uh, my best friend knows her. The whole family is like a bunch of entertainers, mostly like Renaissance type entertainers. They do like Broadway stuff, like singing, dancing, clowns, juggling, all that ventriloquism shit. The whole family's that way. She's the only one who's like done mainstream acting. She was on a TV series. She was in one of those M Night Shyamalan movies, old I think. I didn't know she was in this, but she's super talented. She's probably the most talented member of the family. But yeah, I love the idea. Like we can't live together. We're lifelong soulmates. After mom died, that's when dad completely stopped dating. So for the last 28 years of his life, he never dated again. She was the love of his life, but he was there for the cancer. So I'm really vibing on this. Like this, he's a self-absorbed piece of shit, but he does love her. Like, and I don't think that was ever really in doubt. But this shows it. Like you're there when it fucking matters the most. You can forgive a lot if somebody's there when it fucking matters the most. Like nobody's perfect. Don't tell me she kicked it. I think I see her eye moving, but okay, she is alive. Man, she kicked it and the nurse was just sitting there. You don't even want to know, man, how fired she'd be. Well, if the patient's dead, I guess the nurse is fired anyway, right? So that's kind of how that works. Dude, give her room, man. God damn, what an asshole. Let the woman have her peace, man. Oh, that's not what I thought she was gonna say. Thank God. Yeah, Appetizing. Yeah, brush your teeth is what I'm saying. Dude, now you're gonna kiss me with that nasty ass breath? I was thinking about this because this is Splice, because I had to take another break, right? So the previous scene to this is when he's hugging the whole family, and I was thinking as I was rewatching that without talking, because I knew I'd already talked over that section, right? So I just let it breathe. I wasn't talking, I was just watching it. It went on for probably 5 to 10 seconds longer than I would have let it go on. And there's been a lot of that in this movie. This is another case of that. Like I said, open to interpretation. You could read anything of that because they're not talking. It's just visual, right? There's so much, again, it's the music, the metaphors, the layers in this movie. I know I'm repeating myself, but it just bears repeating because it's like 100 people could write a thesis on this movie. It could be 100 different thesis statements, 100 different directions they can go, and 100 different conclusions. Because we project on the movies. When there's not explicit dialogue or explicit action, we project our own biases onto the movie. We're projecting. I guess I wanted to find another word for that, but like I guess that's what I'm saying, right? It's like a movie projector essentially. We're superimposing the filter of our own thoughts and biases onto this because they're not giving us anything. Well, they're giving us a little bit, right? Like clearly he's not jumping for joy, ecstatic, right? There's a little bit you can take from this, but there's so many different ways you can go with it. It's definitely a style of storytelling. It's not a style of storytelling that I like or prefer. I prefer to be a little bit more explicit, a little bit more definitive. So this is not a movie I'd watch again, but it's such a brilliant movie. Definitely worth seeing once. The second time I've said that for this 5 movie series, but phenomenal, right? But not my style, not my vibe. I think that's a wrap for her. She stayed at the lake house to die because that's probably her favorite place. Like that's not stated. That's another thing we have to superimpose. Okay, this is '80s now. Got to be. Maybe was that an '80s song or a '90s song? There's a lot you can do with the music just to because they refuse to put the dates on the screen. Right. Again, another thing you have to pretty much decide for yourself. I'm sure it's explicit in the script because they had to make sure they have the props and stuff correct. This is interesting architecture. But that's another thing you're superimposing on the movie is that they went to that place. She went to that place to die because that was her favorite place, and then there was no reason to stay there any longer after she died, right? So then they all packed up and left. Watch me drop this science. Doesn't Maestro literally mean master? I was sitting there thinking a student has become the master. But I think in French, is it French or Italian? Maybe Italian. It literally just means master, right? It stinks. You'll never conduct as good as me. I was going to show you. You micromanaging dick. This, what just happened here is not the, and this isn't the point you're supposed to take away from the scene. What a dick. Sit your ass down and shut the hell up. I know it's your job. No, you shall not. He feels useless, right? I think I'm starting to get what a conductor does. This was telling me, like, I think it's telling me what. Will you shut the hell up or I stick this up your ass, dude? You goddamn, man. Wow. Get that cigarette out of my face, by the way. What a dick. If you want to do this, just fucking do it then, man. But I think I'm finally is conceptualizing what a conductor is. Yeah, give me my fucking stick back. Yeah, give me that shit back. Yeah. Great. But what this scene taught me, besides the fact he's a dick, is how you go from one musical transition to the next is what they do. And there's many different ways to do that. That must be what a conductor does. Oh, okay. I see. But yeah, okay. I think see. For me, it's really hard for me to be told something and retain it. I kind of have to get there through basically seeing. I'm better. Like if they write on the board, I'm better than if they give me a lecture. That's just always the way I've learned. So this, I think, was we just saw this in action. They showed me what a conductor does rather than telling the times I've actually talked to them and they tell me. I should just watch them break it down once. Interesting. Yeah, that's why the music just dropped out. Mumford never did stop smoking, even after his wife died of cancer. Oh boy. Even when people tell you go jump in a lake. What happens when they leave and you're alone in this room? Yeah, we ain't got shit to ask. Brilliant fucking movie. Absolutely brilliant, man. Not my thing, but I can appreciate the artistry for what it is. Because holy shit, this is a good movie. The genius of Bradley Cooper. I hope he's up for Best Director, because holy fucking shit, man. I wonder if that's a real Leonard Bernstein. Yeah, it looks like that is. It does. And yeah, that looks like a different person, right? That means Bradley Cooper really captured what he did up there, because this is basically what Bradley Cooper was doing. It'll be fun to go in and see what I typically do this as it's exported, right? See what TV tropes has to say and some of these others, like how historically accurate it is. Biopics typically are not very accurate. A Beautiful Mind, he was married 3 times. They only show one wife. I mean, right there. Turn the fucking movie off at that point. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not even the same person at that point. He was married 3 fucking times. Come on. So garbage, right? Like, but so I don't even care how historically accurate it is. It's just such a brilliant film and a brilliant story. It doesn't matter whether he's real or not, right? I don't even think it's relevant. But what I want to do though is I actually want to go back and now that I've seen the full film, watch what he said at first. You don't have to stay with me for this, but in fact, before I do that, let me go ahead and do the grades for the sound design and stuff, so that you can leave if you don't want to do that. Because I just want to see now that I've seen the film, recontextualize the first scene because he said some shit in there I think is interesting that now that I know what the story. But you don't necessarily have to come along with me for that. So let me do this first. Sound design. Did they design anything? Did they create any sounds for this? I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and assume they did. I just didn't pick up on it. Like, yeah, what the hell? Like, this was it was a music heavy film. It was a dialogue heavy film. There's very few other sounds, like the wind. One time, they brought the wind in because you can see the wind in trees. So they specifically intentionally brought that in there. But other than that, I don't think they really were in the laboratory creating sounds for this. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and give them a 5. I mean, it should be a 0 because I didn't hear shit. Maybe I missed something. I was talking a lot. Sound to screen. Visually matching what we were getting. Here's what's interesting about this. Music, perfection. It would be a 10 out of 10 if we're just talking about music. But sounds that should have been there that weren't there. Like other than the wind, there's a lot of other sounds that should have been there, right? Don't really feel like they were. So I'll give them an 8. Nah, I don't even feel like they get that much. Because here's the thing. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. They married what we should be seeing with what we should be hearing with what we're seeing better than this movie did. So this has got to be a 6, right? I feel bad for this because like it's a great fucking movie, but we're just talking about sound design here. Where this movie excels is their mixing. The way they mixed it all together. You could always hear the dialogue. Even in crowded rooms, you could hear the dialogue you're supposed to hear. And they almost had wall-to-wall music. And just everything. The fact that they had wall-to-wall music, I feel like maybe, okay, so that's where it gets it up to an 8. My first impulse was an 8. I think that does deserve an 8 for that. Because we're not just talking about what should be there, like a lot of the organic sounds were not there. I'm penalizing them for that, but it was wall-to-wall music pretty much, and it always felt appropriate. So I guess that should be an 8. But what I'm saying here, the mixing was perfection. This is the best mixed movie I've heard, so it gets a 10. Mixing was perfection. The problem is, man, it's just like, there was no sound design as far as I can see. And I'm being generous giving them a 5. So yeah, this will be the lowest scored film. That makes me feel a little bit better that it's not recency bias. I just love each film better than the next. That makes me feel better in that category. But as a movie, 5 stars, man. This is a brilliant fucking film. Like I said, you could write an entire thesis off this film. And I don't think every film should be watched 100 times. Like I said, this is not a film I'd ever rewatch. But that's not necessarily the purpose of every film. Sometimes you just experience things one time, it's fine. Like you go see a play, maybe that's the only time you'll see that play, So, I don't know. I mean, it's just great movie. But, again, it's not my vibe. It's not my kind of movie. So that's why I say that as far as, the rewatchability of it. Okay, so you can go and dip out here if you don't want to rewatch the beginning with me. But I'm not going to cue it. It's just we're starting here. If you want to cue it, we can cue it off the visual, and you can do that yourself. Oh, this was his quote. A work of art does not answer questions, it provokes them. And its essential meaning is an intention between the contradictory answers. Right, okay. Bradley Cooper took this to heart, man. He took this to heart and made a movie that epitomizes this quote very intentionally, on purpose. He's not trying to answer anything, right? So, which I think is another reason why it makes a bad biopic. If it's a bad biopic, it's a great movie. But yeah, we'll cue on, if you want to cue it, you can cue it up with when the video starts from this black screen. But I can't count down. So you can just kind of, if you want to cue it up, kind of, fly by the seat of our pants here. So I wonder if the book was ever written, and if they actually did film him like at a piano talking and stuff, and that's where they got this idea to do this as a framing device. Just every decision Cooper made was just fucking brilliant, man. Even to having the real one in the end credits, right? That's what the movie's really about, is his life with her. I assume that's housekeeper, yeah. Yeah, you know what you have till it's gone. That was it. I felt like there was more than that. The scene had such gravity. That scene had such gravity. In my mind, it was a 3 or 4 minute scene. That's crazy. It was just like 1 minute, man. Wow. One more thing, just no wonder I didn't hear about Alexa being in this movie, because like I don't even think she had a single line of dialogue. She was in it for 2 scenes. Blink and you miss it, literally. She's. I had already texted my friends like, "Hey, did you know Alexa's in this movie?" And now I'm gonna have to text her and say, "Well, that's why we didn't know, because like, blink and you miss it." Like she probably got literally $400. That's about it. That sucks. She's done a lot more than that, but yeah, great fucking movie.